Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. I am Jay Clifton Payne, and some days it's more of a struggle than others to get this thing going. And today has been one of those days. All sort of technical glitches and just being a little behind today. But thank you so much for joining us for this thing, whether you're checking out live as I am late getting on the airwaves or in a replay coming down the line in a few hours, few moments, whatever. Thank you so much being with us for the conversational edition of Things You Might Have Heard here for Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Jake Cleveland Payne can give you about 11 stories and do that as quickly as possible because we're kind of on a time crunch here. Get these things going. Remember, stop by our main website, which is theconversationproject.com. Or I'm sorry, this is theconversationproject.com. It's the Conversation Project. This is theconversationproject.com where you can get more details on things you can do for us, things we can do for you that takes more time to explain and makes this thing longer. As my boy O says, make it pithy, make it sweet, make it quick. We're working on that, trying to get back on the quick end. So we're going to do our best on that one. Let's get to the first story, the biggest story out there, a late breaking story, if you will, in the evening, but a story that a lot of people have picked up on, including some of the national newscasts are actually talking about this last night. A robbery at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles is where we now have the death of rapper PNB Rock at the age of 30. Now, every time there's something happening with basically a major rapper these days, I tend to go early with the I don't know who this person is thing, and I'm going to do that as well. But this is a person that a performer, a rapper, very popular person, especially out there in the West Coast, Los Angeles, basically targeted in a robbery at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, announced dead when he arrived to the hospital a few moments after the actual incident. Go to the link that we have in the description. This is a TMZ link, but this is a story that's bigger than many people think. You may not know who this person is. You may not think that a rapper being shot at a chicken restaurant is not a part of your world. Part of the things you might have heard and part of this conversation is about having conversations on things that are a bit out of scope for you personally. So if you don't know who this person is, you might need to get to know who he is, at least on the back end and what he's done here. And you can by just checking the description. There are links to stories on this. Now, man murdered wife, shot daughter after being sucked down Q rabbit hole, family concerns. This one's another top story that's interesting and very important. We think that this whole thing is over, but there's plenty of people who are still dealing with some after effects of the QAnon craze, if you will, the craze of QAnon, and just people who are sucked into conspiracy theories in general. Seem to come to a head with the QAnon folks and the Donald Trump supporters who follow QAnon and what was going on. It's hard to really explain what it is. I'm just saying a bunch of crazy folks believing that there's some guy who went by Q, who was an insider in the government, who was basically letting all the people know about the bad things happening, how Hillary Clinton was actually running a cabal of pedophiles and a lot of action happening outside of a pizza shop, which led to guys showing up at the pizza shop with a sword to go and liberate the basement, which the pizza shop doesn't actually have a basement. It's conspiracy theories on steroids, on hyped up to crazy results. And this is a case where a man actually went nuts and essentially killed his family because of some basically they didn't believe of the Q stuff going on. So they had to be, I'll just say, cleansed, if you will. Check out this story, see how crazy this goes, and understand that there are people around you like this. And maybe you are a person around me in this orbit like this. There are ways to be talked down off the ledges, and this is one case where this might be the trigger to bring you back to reality if you are kind of in the QAnon sort of world. Goldman Sachs prepares for layoffs as deal making slows. Right now, the big money is about to not be big money. There's a lot of things going on in the behind the scenes of the banking world where things aren't so great. Goldman Sachs is one of those places where they're also trying to get people to come back to the office, which hasn't worked out so well. They're also trying to get the work done that's there to get done. What they're seeing in this big major financial firm and other financial firms is that the money is not flowing as well as it is. And when money starts flowing, then, people have to go to make up the dividends. And usually it's last in, first out in those cases. We shall see how the business area will work with what's going on now. We can say there is record unemployment. Everybody has a job, but everyone doesn't have a job at Goldman Sachs. And all the signs I see where people are hiring are at fast food chains, restaurants, where they could use some help because they are seriously struggling. But for whatever reason, people aren't returning to the lower level, poor paying jobs. And the upper scale jobs are now feeling the heat from that. And they are going to start having to shuffle some people down. So we'll see how many people will be flipping burgers at Burger King after this thing happens. Probably not any extra, to be honest. Let's go to this story. After settling with Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, say that 3 times fast, photographer sues Miley Cyrus for copyright infringement. This is a guy who is on the rampage. He is on a mission. He's on the way to get his money for basically photographers or artists, if you will, using photos that professional photographers take for their own Instagram, their own promotion, their own stuff. And this photographer, check out the link for this story here. This guy is going one by one, taking on really big case he took on with Justin Bieber, making as an example of him and getting some money out of him. Now his sights are on Miley Cyrus. He's suing for copyright infringement using photos that he took at performances and then, use them for themselves. We'll see how this one plays out in the courts. 2 on Trump today. Justice Department subpoenas more than 30 people in Trump's orbit on January 6th probe. This is a shot to get in as many subpoenas as much work done before we get down to basically the window where it's traditionally not done to deal with political type activity around election times. We are months away. This is September. We are almost in that 30-day window for, where they don't do this stuff. We are literally less than 60 days away from electing governors, mayors, things like that. Some representatives on some levels will do a president in 2 more years. But the midterm elections is the big deal. They want to take the politics out of the work of the January 6th committee and get people deposed quickly. And White House confirms Trump not invited to Queen Elizabeth's funeral. However, Barack Obama's not invited. Jimmy Carter's not invited. George W. Bush not invited. I am not invited. Only one actual invitation went to the White House for the official, guys to show up, heads of state, and it's the current head of state, Joe Biden. No +1 for presidents. Jill can come. Maybe a grandkid can come, but no +1 for Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who believed he had a very special bond with Queen Elizabeth and the royal family, a bit upset that they didn't get an invitation. But as we said, they are only sending them out to the actual heads of state, not the actual former heads of state, just because they had special deals. That's how these things work. That's how global politics works. You got to be nice to everybody, not just the bully who's pushing his way through the door. Let's move on to the next batch of stories. It concludes this one here. DC Comics revealed the Joker's real name is Jack White. Guess what? Jack White, the performer from the White Stripes, had a few kind words for the idea, especially along the lines where he said he took some inspiration from the creative genius of the Joker, i.e. now Jack White. Now he's had various different names in various different sort of media because they had to come up with things. The most famous one is Jack Napier from the Batman movie, the best Batman movie, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. But the Joker's real name per DC Comics for all the recons and uncons and do-cons you want to, apparently is Jack White. I'm not really deep into the comics world right now, so I can't say I follow along the storyline. But you can check out more details by reading the link we have in the description, or you can just search it up and you get details on how this all came about. Trial set to begin for Alex Jones in Sandy Hook hoax case. Yes, there's a trial going on for Sandy Hook. This thing happened like a decade ago, and we're still dealing with it. And guess what? The trial is set to begin for Alex Jones in the Sandy Hook case. It takes a while to get these things done, apparently. More details in the article. Now let's talk about some colleges. Number 1, Columbia University drops on best college rankings after admitting incorrect data. Columbia University was ranked at number 2 in a three-way tie with two other Ivy League schools, but it basically said they had a whole bunch of small classes that people could take on to, which was essentially a lie. They don't have a lot of small classes for people to get into. The classes that they were in particular were isolated and weren't essentially real. So because they misstated how many small classes, class size is a big deal for the rankings, they dropped from 2 to 18. Now, this is going to become a bigger story as other schools are kind of, lamenting the fact that they don't like their rankings. They don't like the other schools that are ranked. Now, let me be clear. The best college ranking these best college ranking things, all ranking things, are essentially advertisements that are paid for. The colleges have paid something to be in the book and to be a part of the deal. I see this on a local area because my college pays something to be in the local books and local areas for the best things for whatever, and we get a chance to highlight what we want to in special advertisements in the rankings. Rankings are not so much arbitrary; they're there, but a lot of things that go into the consideration is the fact that we do offer up a little bit of money, so we make sure we're in the book. That's going to be a bigger story on this thing going forward. Not so much that Columbia dropped 16 points because they mislabeled their information. They misspoke. It's because these things may or may not be as useful as you think. Mostly on them may not be as useful as you think. Texas A&M diversity policies are discriminatory against whites, Asian men, says a lawsuit. This is a bigger deal than you probably think it is as well, because diversity is a thing that we really do need more of, but diversity forced upon does become an issue. Now, Texas A&M saying that the diversity policies they have for their school actually discriminate. It doesn't so much bring fairness to other races who don't have fairness, but it actually protects unfairness, that is unfair injustice to whites and Asian men in this lawsuit that's there. Check out that, go deeper into that story. Amtrak is canceling some long distance trips on freight as a freight strike threat looms. There's a large nurses strike going on right now. There have been many teacher strikes in the end. School year is only about a month and a half in, and Amtrak is about to have dealing with a strike there for a long time term for some of their freight train drivers coming soon. Amtrak is right now trying to eliminate some of that chaos by canceling some of the long distance trips to make sure that they are manned by whomever is going to be there as the strike looms very imminent. Let's go to our teaser story for today. Will we talk about this tomorrow? Almost half of U.S. governors asked Joe Biden to cut student loan forgiveness plan. You can go deeper into what's going on this. So there are some issues with the student loan forgiveness plan and the fact that it's actually lost revenue, and lost revenue is an issue. While it does give relief to people who are dealing with the loans, these are loans that were in most cases actually legally and in good faith put out there. That won't be paid back to many other instances. That's an issue. That's a problem. It is just as much a problem as having too much debt. Is this something that's going to fly? You can read the story. You can tell me exactly what you think about this and engage with it so we can know we can talk about this tomorrow. Engage it with it by liking it, loving, hating it, sharing it, being involved with the story as it comes alive on your feeds in about 10 minutes or so, I believe. So if this is a story worth talking about for tomorrow, vote it up. We'll make it happen. So let's go to the money shot, literal money shot, where we talk about ways to keep us making money. One, this is an affiliate link. So if you use this link to join Robinhood, you help make us money directly for affiliate link. Two, investment is basically the way you're going to make money. Putting money in the bank and saving it is a great way to put things aside. But because of inflation, it loses its power over time. The interest rate that you're barely getting on your savings account, and trust me, I love watching my savings account take interest every month, is not going to keep up with inflation. So large amounts of cash in savings does not help you out. One simple way to get investing, and you can invest on a smaller level and play around with it, if you will, is via Robinhood. Robinhood is not a mainstream brokerage. It's stock trading in your hand. But it's growing, it's getting bigger. And if you trust yourself and have enough leverage and have enough information, there are plenty of newsletters out there that I'm not going to endorse at the moment. You can make your picks and work on that way. Robinhood has also instituted a Robinhood index. So you can see what the investors in Robinhood are putting the most money into and taking out. Obviously, because there's a lot of meme stock action, there's a lot of game stock in there. So you don't have to put in GameStop, but you know that that's where people are putting their money in Robinhood, and you can see that as a simple index as well. Some Disney, some Amazon, some things like that. What you're looking for in Robinhood is a simple way to invest, and it's there. You can buy into crypto. I wouldn't suggest it right now, but you can do that. You can buy a lot of different option type things using your Robinhood account. You can even make money off of people borrowing your stock. Check it out. It's an interesting way to get in there, get into what's going on. They have brand new crypto wallets so that you can keep your crypto and sell and trade it directly from the Robinhood app. And of course, the biggest deal about this is fractional shares. You can buy as much or as little of a full piece of a stock as you need to and get in there. Your Berkshire Hathaway costs you $10,000 a share, and you want Berkshire Hathaway, spend $10. You are now an investor in Berkshire Hathaway. Just like that. Check it out at thisisconversationproject.com/Robinhood. This is conversationproject.com/Robinhood. Check it out right now, or in a few minutes when we're done, and get yourself in there. They're also still giving you a free stock for signing up. So check it out today. Let's check out also things today. Websites of note, starting off with the Conversation Project's main website. This is conversationproject.com. Find out more about our sponsors, more about partnership opportunities, and more about us at the website. Our feeds are on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us there. And every 50 minutes, we post news stories for you to like, love, hate, just engage in. The more engagement the story gets, the higher chance we get to talk about it. Today is a Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, we took from the batch of stories, about 33 stories total, and cut it off at the top 15 engagement and pick from you 11 of those stories to talk about. Hopefully they were the 11 best stories that are best for your water cooler talk. But you basically have a say in what stories are good to chat up the next day, just like that. Find us on TikTok at The Conversation Project, and find us on YouTube if you're not there, or maybe you're not subscribed to us. Subscribe at our YouTube page for The Conversation Project. Hit notifications so we get that little notification at 5:50 a.m. or 5:55 today. We had technical issues. And you can listen to this on the replay, just listening, no voice or no picture, all voice, by going to our podcast page. Find those links at our main website. This is conversationproject.com. Today, things include birthdays on 13th of September. Jean Smart of Designing Women and other kind of things. You'd be surprised how many things you see her in that she plays this sort of conniving and sort of kind of evilish type person, but we all loved her and Jean Smart on her character in Designing Women. She is turning 71 years old on the day. Randy Jones is 70. Who is Randy Jones? Randy Jones is the cowboy from the Village People. Happy birthday, Randy Jones, on this day. Tyler Perry turned 53 years old today. We pretty much know Tyler Perry. We've seen and heard Tyler Perry in something going on, branching off into more mainstream things, if you will, starring in Look Up there, starring as Alex Cross. He's a super spy. And yes, he's that guy that wears the dress in the Medea movies. He's 53 years old today. Happy birthday. Congratulations for making this trip and one more trip around the sun. And the things you do there, Tyler Perry, even selling Kenneth Copeland a jet. That's a whole nother discussion. Today is Fortune Cookie Day. So celebrate by getting some Chinese or just buying some fortune cookies, opening them up, reading them, and doing all your little double entendres with your fortune cookies. Because we know you people. We know what you like to do. Let's go to the last thing out the door. One last big old fact to get into. Kitchen sponges have been picked out as bacterial magnets for quite a while, though they hadn't stopped more studies from surfacing. Researchers in Germany used genetic sequences to compile the most comprehensive list of sponge bacteria to date. Thank you, scientists. The results aren't surprising. Looking at 14 different used kitchen sponges, researchers found that up to 54 billion bacteria per cubic centimeter, spanning 118 types. Many of these pose no threat to humans, no harm to humans, as actually read, but some are. The study found that cleaning sponges didn't seem to help at all. So all this basically means is if you like cleaning things with sponges and you want to get more sponges, get more sponges. Don't clean and reuse the sponges because they nasty. And that is all. And that really is all for today. Today is, as I speak now, Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. This has been things you might have heard for this day. I want to remind you that great things are happening. Keep up with us every single day this week as we do our best to give you, as a tertiary news source, your news side piece type news, things that you will not get anyplace. I was actually surprised when I heard the tease for the PNB Rock story. Listen to CNN's New Day this morning. So it's being covered. It's a bigger deal than I think. But TMZ was where I got the source early last night or late last evening, and it is the top story for the morning. So y'all out there were engaged as well. Stay hydrated, stay on task, stay limber, something in that order. We need you around to do great things and do great things. We are sending much love and prayer to the family and friends of PNB Rock, including his girlfriend, Instagram model girlfriend, who was with him as they were dining. And we send thoughts and love and prayers to you as well. Let's do this again tomorrow, shall we? I think we shall.